Hi, welcome to the Cairns Writes podcast, home of science fiction, fantasy and horror author Michael Cairns, me. If you enjoy what you hear today, you can find more at cairnswrites.com. On the podcast this week, we begin the story of Scarlet Rose Parker, pizza-obsessed, Tumblr veteran and magically inclined schoolgirl. Life Without Tumblr, Part 1. It was a day much like any other. School sucked hard, and getting home was a drag, sharing the bus with loathsome little kids who smelled bad and laughed at her. She walked in the door, straight through the kitchen, and raced for the stairs. Her luck was in as silence chased her up to her room. Mum would be sleeping, watching TV, or on the phone, and whichever it was, she hadn't noticed her arrival. Bag into the corner, shoes off, onto the bed, and a laptop open. The power button depressed. There was the telltale whir of the fan, and Scarlet leaned back against her pillows, shoulders finally relaxing as the screen lit up. The day fell away as she tapped her fingers against the edge of the keyboard, waiting impatiently for the login screen. Username, Scarlet Rose. Password, DOBBYSBITCH. The screen went dark, then flashed back up to Windows. She cracked her knuckles and was about to connect when the screen went black again. A flashing white cursor appeared and words scrolled neatly out. "Hi, this is your computer speaking. It may have escaped your notice, but I have more power than the entire spaceship that took men to the moon. I can run cities and launch weapons of mass destruction. I can change the world. Until you can prove that you will use me for more than Tumblr and the occasional piece of crap homework, you are blocked out. That is all." The screen went dark. She stared at it, cocked her head to one side, and stared at it some more. That was a joke, right? Some tosser had somehow hacked in. She hit the Windows button a few times, swearing a little louder each time nothing happened. With a heavy sigh, she held down the power button until it switched off, and started it up again. She logged in, smiling as Windows appeared. The screen went black. "I really wasn't kidding. Go away. Do something useful." "Ah!" She slammed the laptop down on the bed. "Mum!" No answer. Bloody sodding damn it, this is so unfair. Why her? They could have chosen anyone to screw with, anyone's computer to hack, so why hers? It wasn't funny in any way at all. In fact, it was child cruelty. She was being tortured, punished for a crime she didn't even know about, let alone commit. She looked at her bookshelf. Nah, it just wasn't the same. There weren't real people there, people who would actually talk to her, or even better, reblog stuff she posted. She shoved the laptop to the side and scrambled off the bed, giving it one final glare as she stalked from the room. "Mum!" She stomped down the stairs. Why was she asleep? It wasn't like she bloody did anything. She walked into the lounge and stopped. The sofa was empty, cushions strewn across the floor. She checked the rest of the house, didn't take long, and came back to the lounge. She was out. What the hell was she doing being out? There was a book on the sofa, and she scooped it up. It was leather-bound, small, with no title or any writing on the outside at all. She perched on the edge of the chair and took a look inside. It was a notebook, and the scrawlings were in Mum's handwriting. She almost put it down, expecting shopping lists and TV times, but a word jumped out and grabbed her. She read the entire sentence, her mind cartwheeling. "The coven will convene monthly beneath the light of the full moon, and there will be ceremony to mark the occasion." Next to it, she had written in even smaller type, "Remember cake." Huh? She kept reading, but the rest of the page was dull. a long list of the things people had complained about, presumably at the convening of the coven. She turned the next page and found the juicy stuff. The title was, "For the Removal of Violent Tendencies." Then there was a list of ingredients, had to be there somewhere, and a set of instructions. Near the bottom were words that made no sense, written out super neatly. Genhassi Trilsaborth Bellicus Bellicus. She knew something about this. Mum had said something a few months ago. She hadn't listened because, that was going to happen. What had it been? Yeah, some monthly meeting with the girls. She'd said that poor Jeanette had been having troubles with her fella hitting her, so they were going to get together once a month and talk about it. Talk about it, eh? This was a bloody spellbook. Of course, magic doesn't exist, but if it did, this would be the real deal. Had Mum said anything about Jeanette since? Yeah, she had. Bloody hell. Didn't she say she was really happy because her old man was like a lamb now and really quiet and peaceful? She did, definitely. Scarlet shook her head, looking down at the book, smirking. Mum was battier than she'd thought. She was a witch. Or at least, she thought she was. She turned another page and found more spells. A small one, tucked in beneath "For the Changing of Hair Colour," caught her eye. "In the event of doubt, for the finding of riches." There were no ingredients listed, just a couple of lines of the weird language. She stood, clearing her throat, and blushed, then quickly read out the lines. Nothing happened. She checked around, nodded, and tried again, slower this time. Still nothing. Okay, this was stupid. No, this was worse than stupid. It was gullible as well. Mum had put a camera in here. There had to be a camera. Scarlet rushed around the room, dragging the TV table out and checking behind it. The room was clean. She picked up the book and read one more time, pronouncing each word as clearly as she could. A cloud formed in the middle of the room. She dropped the book, stepping backwards until her thighs caught against the settee, and sat down hard. The cloud was white, small and puffy, and definitely there. It was a cloud from a storybook, with nice clean edges and a flat bottom. It moved, coming closer to her. She shrieked and threw herself back, and it stopped. She took a deep breath, remembering the name of the spell, and tried to speak without her voice shaking too much. "Okay, right. Find me some riches, please." A voice sounded loud in the empty house, and she flinched. The cloud drifted out of the lounge, and Scarlet followed it, snatching up the spellbook and her keys as it drifted through the front door. She rushed out and found it hovering just outside. She followed it down the road, and it matched her, pausing if it moved too far ahead. The route it took was horribly familiar, and within 10 minutes she was stood before the school gates. She folded her arms and gave the cloud a look. If it was possible, she thought it was staring straight back, saying, "What? You asked for riches?" She nodded. "Fine, very clever. Find me, money riches, stuff I can spend." The cloud drifted back past her, then across the road and hovered above the gutter. Beneath it lay a penny, which she picked up, ignoring the urge to throw it at the cloud. "Okay, I get it. You can go away now." The cloud vanished and she shivered, wrapping her arms around her. Her school jumper was too tight. It showed off all the fat bits. Mum insisted she wasn't fat, but then Mum was size 40, so she didn't believe anything she said. It was cold. The summer had ended with a bang, like someone had closed the door marked, "Yay, sunshine," and opened the one labelled, "Let's depress the crap out of everyone." She turned for home, took about 3 steps, and stopped. She'd just done magic, and talked to a cloud. She should probably look it up, or maybe blog about it. Damn it, frickin' computer! She pulled the book out, flicking through it as she resumed walking. There had to be something useful in here, maybe a get thin spell or a meet Ariel from the Little Mermaid spell. Something worthwhile. A cough made her glance up from her book. She could see her house over the shoulder of the smelly man blocking her way. He wore the clothes of a homeless man. In fact, She was pretty certain he was a homeless man. Help you? She tried to step past him and he moved, blocking the pavement. Oi, what the hell? I saw something. In your house. When have you been in my house? Ew. He shook his head like a dog, super keen to be believed. I haven't been in, I meant through the window this morning. I saw your mother. She slapped him on the arm and put her hand in her pocket for her phone. You creepy bastard, I'm calling the police. He shook his head harder, putting his hands up. Sorry, please, I'm not saying it right. I was just walking past this morning, and there was light, this blue light like fire coming from the lounge. And I looked, and your mother was writhing around, in pain, I think. Then she just vanished. He articulated the last part with his hands, showing something going poof. The smell was weaker now, and his eyes were sharp, a pale blue that hinted at mysteries. How'd you know it was my mum? Well, she was in your house, Scarlet, so who else was it likely to be? Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you liked what you heard, you can find more at cansrights.com. And come back here in a week for the next installment.